This morning, when I awoke after a massive night of partying in Cologne, Germany, I decided to check my phone like the good millennial that I am, and I got a lot of Discord notifications. So I opened one, and it was Baby Marine who texted me, asking me if I was the one who created the Ghost Cyclone cheese. And if so, then thank you, because I just beat a very high level Protoss player with it. That's what the message said. He sent me the replay, so let's have a look at it. Now, for the people who are not aware of these player names, Christianer is a Polish Protoss player who is currently, according to Illegalog, ranked 32 in the world. The number 15 non-Korean player in the world. Baby Marine, on the other hand, is the little brother of Rainer, but he's also a phenomenal player himself and is currently ranked rank 87 in the world, according to Illegalog. And for the people who have missed my video on the Ghost Cyclone cheese, I basically thought of like it started initially as a Hellion drop cheese or a Hellbat attack with a ghost timing as well, similar to what have people done before in Terran versus Zerg. And then I thought, hey, what happens if I just build the factory next to my barracks on the other side of the map and I start pumping Ghost and Cyclones? And you kind of use it as a one base all-in, but with pretty decent eco behind it. So you have the ability to later on just kind of switch into Cyclone, Ghost-ish mech if you really want to. So yeah, I'm really curious what this game is going to bring. Baby Marine versus Christianer. I checked the odds on Illegalog as well. I pitted them against each other. And according to Illegalog, if these guys play in a best of one, there is a 20% chance that Baby Marine wins the game. So not a very high chance, but definitely not impossible either. Christianer is a player that is usually around 6'5", 6'6", 6'7k MMR. That is really somewhere between, I guess, maybe top 8, top 5, somewhere, you know, in that region is where his MMR is at. Baby Marine, on the other hand, is around 6,000 MMR, 5,900 MMR, so quite a little bit lower. Christianer scouted the lack of anything at home here. Look at this. This is very important. Saw nothing, then you want to go back up, and that's exactly what he does because he is not an idiot. Sees the lack of a factory and now knows that a factory is proxied. Wants to send this Zealot across the map, but sadly for him, that Zealot is going to end up getting caught here by this Reaper. So Zealot will be forced into moving back home. Pylon here to basically deny a full wall. His plan was to go with the Zealot and then maybe clear some SCVs. Not the greatest control, honestly, out of Christianer. He's going to lose that Zealot pretty much for free. Stalker is now out. Could still try to move the Stalker across the map. I personally would be a little bit afraid of that. You don't quite know what the follow-up is. It could just be a single Cyclone with more Reapers, or a Cyclone with like a Marauder push, something along those lines. It is going to be a reactored Cyclone, so the first Cyclone is a tiny tad delayed, but still, I'm honestly surprised that he decides to move out with this Stalker. I think that could be considered a mistake. We'll see how it works out. You can only judge things after after we've seen the effect already. Predicting is for idiots. I just tell you whether it was good or bad after it happened. So far pretty effective. It's gonna kill 1 or 2 SCVs, force a full pull off. As long as Christianer keeps microing this Stalker properly, he will be fine. Meanwhile, he has a battery at home. He has a second gate on the way. He's now building a third gate. Has 2 Stalkers in the main base, so he's kind of preparing for maybe a Hellion drop, maybe some type of Marauder Hellion drop. We've seen that in the past out of a lot of players. Instead, Baby Marine's gonna come in here clean with the Ghost, with the Cyclones. I wonder if he's straight up going to use the EMP or if he wants to wait. Yes, I think this is good. He waits for the shield battery, the super battery, to get popped. Stalker on the other side of the map is being microed phenomenally here, by the way. Look at that. 4 kills already on it. A lot of SCVs off the line. This Stalker doesn't even have any hull damage yet. At the same time, though, Christianer isn't paying attention to the Stalkers at home. EMP and 4 Cyclones are going to take out 2 Stalkers over here. We get a scan on top of the ramp, which I think is a good call. I really think that's a good call. You don't want to get caught with like a sentry or some other weird surprises, like some random immortal that's up there. Some good control. Meanwhile, these SCVs are still chasing this single Stalker that already has 6 kills. This is a really weird game at the moment. One of the issues I found with this build is that it's really annoying when you're Ghost. They get a little bit of damage on them because there's no medevac to heal them. That can be extremely frustrating. So here we see Baby Marine is actually just straight up going to take out this base. He still has these SCVs across the map, and I guess he's now planning on just going for it. I think killing this should be enough, and you can just build a CC at home. And theoretically, there should be no issue. Instead, he's just going to walk upstairs. We do get the EMP, and he kills 1 Stalker. He's going to go for the sentry as well. Ghost is kind of isolated up there. New Sentry is now popping off as well, and I'm not so sure if Baby Marine saw it, but if he did, he definitely should not be running up there once more. SCVs, honestly, should just be going home. We still have a pylon aggressively placed. Could theoretically go for a warp in, as he has 4 gateways and a robotics facility. Is there an Immortal yet? No, we have no Immortal, no Prism, no Observer. Worker count for Christianer is not great. If these SCVs go home and we have a Mule mining, the mineral income should definitely be very favorable here for Baby Marine by about 200-ish. Should be the advantage. Zealot now gets warped in. This is a good move, I think. You know that all the production is on the other side of the map. Baby Marine might have accidentally lifted this factory. I'm not sure if that's on purpose or if it's not. Zealot is still going ham. 0 kills, so the control out of Baby Marine is good enough, but it's gonna need to send some units home. It's just losing a lot of mining right now. At the same time, ooh, triple adept warp, and I think that is actually a mistake here out of Christianer, because you know that Baby Marine's going to be sending some units home, and this is a lot of money that you might end up losing, and really not that many kills are going to come out of it. I mean, he gets 2 SCV kills, loses 2 adepts. Okay, 2 adepts versus 3 SCV kills in the end there. Zealot also got another kill or so. Worker count is very even, 22-18. This pylon's going to get taken out. We still have Ghost, and now the question that I have is, whose army composition is actually better? We have 2 Ghost, so 2 EMPs. We have 4 Cyclones, and the follow-up here is going to be tanks, which I really like. Because Cyclones, they don't actually skill that well, but if you have tanks plus Ghost as a way of dealing with Stalkers, I think that is very solid. And even as a way of dealing with Immortals, honestly, like just having a tank in there, it forces the Protoss to focus on the tank, or it's just going to deal too much damage over time. It's also great for containing. One of the things that I always was afraid of when I was playing this build and I was aggressive on the map is the complete lack of any production at home means that a counterattack can be very hard to defend. You just feel vulnerable the entire time. This is too early here, Baby Marine. You're going to lose that SCV. Yep, that is a massive waste there. Not necessary. Especially because the worker count is already so low. That actually is a pretty big waste. We're gonna get a prism out and it's gonna try to go across the map. I like that move. I think it's a good move. Second tank on the way as well. We have a starport now at home. I'm not sure if I would have preferred a starport or if I would have liked seeing a second factory. I think I actually kind of like the starport here. I'm not sure what you would get with the starport, whether you're going for Vikings or medevacs, maybe even a Raven. For like anti-armor missile or interference matrix on like big units. That is something we've seen in the past. Like a composition that you can play when you're playing a high cyclone count is the interference matrix, and you're just interference matrixing these big units, the Immortals. If there's Colossus, you hit the Colossus, that type of shenanigans. So for now, Prism's gonna make his way across the map. Triple Zealots. We have Blink going up as well. Defensively, Christianer's looking solid. Baby Marine, however, he's just mining a little bit more. And let's not forget, if it's 1 base versus 1 base, eventually the Protoss is going to run out of mineral patches. We already see a couple disappear. The Terran can just lift the base. So that's another 400 minerals that you're going to be saving. So Christiana's actually going to come in here. Don't forget, Terran doesn't have the recall ability. So we'll need to run back by itself. I'd love for Christianer to not warp in anything here. You're already dealing your damage. You know there's going to be a pullback. So really the same scenario as last time. Single warp in I'm okay with because it can still fit in the prism. So Christianer is learning from his mistakes. Is going to get caught here with the Stalker. And it's really so important to get these zealots back into the prism. This is a much longer game and a very different type of game than I have played. Most of my games went more into macro games, but Baby Marine here is just kind of 1 basing versus 1 base. The never-ending 1 base. Christianer is also down with that plan. He does have Blink right now. I wonder if the plan for Christianer is actually just to go for an attack. There are 3 tanks out. Could go for a base trade move here. Like, generally getting up ramps when there's this many force fields is just going to suck, even if you do have tanks. So if you're going in with a full-on base trade, that could be pretty sick. Oh, this prism is gonna die with... I think it had 2 zealots in it still. 1 zealot does manage to escape. These cyclones can now move across the map or can just be set up defensively. Christianer is moving out for the base trade. We have some more stalkers that are being used defensively here. 6 stalkers should be enough to 2-volley one of these tanks if he wants to or if he can. Here go the stalkers. Probably should Blink over these depots. For now, just attacking it. Baby Marine with a higher supply. Lost a tank though. And there's still a lot of force fields to come here. Battery is empty. that might be an issue. If the Stalkers are moving in, we'll clear the first Cyclone. Is the second Cyclone also gonna get cleared? SCV's being pulled off the line. 63 supplied to 52. At the same time, we have an attacker going up the ramp. He hits the EMP. How can you miss the force field? Is the only thing you need to do. That's Christianer's actually gonna get pushed back. And I mean, with 3 tanks, I don't quite understand how Stalkers are gonna deal with that. At the same time, though, I don't understand how Baby Marine's gonna deal with this. We're gonna get the full-on lift, as he has more tanks coming in, a little bit of cash in general. He cut this tank out so that he can afford another CC, I think. That might be the plan here. So Orbital's gonna fly towards the bottom side. Meanwhile, Baby Marine in his opponent's base. Not with a very high Marine count, not with a very high tank count. But I think this count is just big enough, and that might just be the only thing that matters. None of these tanks, by the way, in range of anything. Oh, and here comes a... Ooh, actually, these Stalkers could have just fought this, no? Probably want to move back a little bit faster. This is the only mining that Christianer has. This is it. This actually is it. And this Nexus is gonna fall. It's going to be the last of that. Baby Marine also has a larger army supply. We're gonna get a blink in forward, but it's not well synchronized. So one tank is gonna go down, but a lot of Stalkers are falling here as well. And with the Cyclones and Ghost still available, we get a GG. And yeah, this is hopefully the first time of many, but at least we have one big win against an actual top Protoss player. I find it really freaking funny when people play builds that I've, created, or at least I believe that I've created. It might be possible that someone else had played this exact build before and now I'm taking credit, but it's really freaking cool. I think it was in Dallas as well, I was talking with Epic, who is a North American Terran, and we were talking about builds, and I was telling him about my 2-factory Cyclone tank all-in on one base versus Protoss, and I thought it was actually quite good. And then he played it against Creator and on Ghost River, and the game actually ended up being... It wasn't super close, but he made some pretty big mistakes. And we were talking about it afterwards, like, that build, it probably should have worked if the execution was a little bit better. And it's just really fun when Terran obviously is not my main race, but you make something and then other people use it and actually have success with it. I think that's freaking awesome. So yeah, big shout out to Baby Marine for messaging me. And there was a lot of other people that also messaged me. I got like 6-7 messages, and usually, my Discord is a desert, my friends. No messages at all. But today, this morning, was nice waking up. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. This is pretty much just bragging about the fact that I made a build and it worked. So yeah, it is what it is. Thanks for watching. I hope you did enjoy it. I'll see all of you next time for a new video. Thanks so much for watching, and bye-bye.